my name is Lindy Sherries and I used to be a Sangoma. In this channel, I talk about everything, guys. Abokorobela, the secrets that we were taught not to share with you guys, how we used to trick you guys, the spirits, how everything works when you go to a Sangoma for consultation, yamatambo. So whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, please check out this channel so we can talk about it. If you believe in God, let's share the gospel. If you don't believe in God, you can check out the channel too. I want to hear your opinion, and I want people to actually share their opinion, not insulting me without saying why. Thank you, and I'll see you on my channel.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. This is Solomon Izang Ashams. That's my name. They call me Uncle Solomon. Feel free to call me the same. This is Solomon's Temple, where we get to look at issues that has to do with the church, the Christian faith, Christian life, charlatans, false prophets. We get to expose them and talk about them here. So I hope you're doing extremely very well with all that you are and all that you're in. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate you guys that are here. Please make sure you use the comment section if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Make sure you send a message. Let us know where you're watching from, and let us know what you feel also about some of the topics we discuss. Don't forget to check out other videos that we have on the channel. There is a lot of videos there, and also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you, Christine, all the way from Kenya. Good to have you here. I have my brother DJ Bakumba, all the way from Vancouver in Canada. That is Promise. Good to have you here. Good to have you here, Fenyo. Evelyn from Nigeria, awesome. And we got Puna, my big sister from London. Good to have you here also. Good to have you here, Chi. And there is Asika from Botswana, always here. Awesome. Good to have you here. So there's been a trending news about the son of the General Overseer, they call him, of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, his son, Lekan Adeboye, calling pastors goats, right? I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been away from Nigeria for a little bit now. I've been away from Nigeria like 20 years now. I visit, it's not like I've been away. It's still part of me. Once you're a Nigerian, forever you're a Nigerian. The culture is with you. But there's something about the way we use words in Nigeria sometimes that I don't know if we're immune from words that are really hurting and painful, or we just allow people use their words to hurt us, and we think it's fine. Yeah, I mean, Nigeria, we're jokers, but this one is not a joking matter. So let's get that right. We're jokers, and I mean, I met a lot of Christians who swear. They use the swear word, they use the F word, and they're very dedicated Christians, good Christians. I was like, I can just never do that, And in an African context or in a Nigerian context, when you call somebody a goat, what does that mean? Because we have, if you remember Nigeria, if you grew up in Nigeria, some people get angry, or in a joking way, they can tell you, you are like a she-goat. That is a very derogatory term to call somebody a goat, to call people a goat, to call leaders a goat. Now, even if they're not leaders or pastors, do we have the right to relegate somebody's thinking or somebody's action to the action of an animal? Do we have the right to do that? Especially when you are a pastor yourself and the son of a prominent pastor. Did that happen because of pride? or anger? Or was it from a place of superiority complex, spirituality, superior spirituality maybe? Is it because, did it come from a place of, my father is your boss, so what? There's nothing you can do about it. So, and that's what happened. That's what happened last weekend when Pastor Adeboye, this is him here with the son, Lekan Adeboye. So this is his son, Lekan Adeboye. I think he should be his, is it fourth or fifth child? I have met Lekan Adeboye before, quite a couple of years ago here in South Africa, in Johannesburg. Met him, we chatted. He's sort of like a big guy, in body size. And he's the one that is always sort of like on social media saying a whole lot of stuff, unlike the other brothers or the other siblings. He confronts stuff. Maybe it's his personality. I don't know if he's his job. But his father, Enoch Adeboye, preached on Sunday a very provoking sort of like sermon where he challenged the Nigerian authorities. He spoke about the governance in Nigeria, how the economy is going bankrupt, how the governance has been far below par, has failed people, how next year's election might not even happen. So definitely he put up a lot on the table regarding his concerns. So his son now went on Twitter. I think the brief that was given then to them was every parish, as they call it, the churches around, are supposed to connect to the sermon. And that should be the sermon for the Sunday. You show it on screen, so every church, the church branch of Redeemed Christian Church of God, sort of like synchronize and show that sermon, because everybody needs to listen. And I know churches that do that. Churches that they have satellite churches, so the sermon normally comes from the main church and all that kind of stuff, or maybe when it's an important message, they want everyone to connect to the mother church. So there's not going to be sermon by the local pastor of that parish, that church, that Sunday. I guess maybe that was the brief from his response, because after his father preached, and I think he heard that some of the pastors, after his father's sermon, some of the pastors also gave their own sermon, and he was unhappy about it. Okay, so there's a misunderstanding somewhere, or there is some sort of a disobedience somewhere, but how do you rectify it? How do you correct it? Or how do you dialogue around it? He handled it very differently. He went on Instagram, and this is what he posted on Instagram. He said, "Why would you go and preach another sermon after Daddy Gio had just finished speaking and preaching? You are not a son, you are a goat, sir." So obviously he was talking to one pastor. "Next Thanksgiving service, just do altar call, then Thanksgiving," he wrote. So it was a Thanksgiving service, special Thanksgiving service, right? And he speaks his mind. I like him for that. But when you speak your mind, you also have to be cautious what you say when you speak your mind, because you might speak your mind out of anger, and you would say things that would be regrettable. He's calling his dad Daddy Gio. So look at the second paragraph there where he says, "You are not a son." So because you preach another sermon after Daddy Gio finished speaking and preaching, you are not a son. You are a goat. So he was officially relegating this pastor of the church who or some of them, not even one, maybe some of them did that, who preached after his father. He relegated them from the level of a son to a level of a goat, level of a human being to a level of an animal. So he stripped them of their human dignity. That's what he did. He stripped them of their human dignity. What does that tell you about his understanding of authority? Because for you to be a good leader, you first have to be a good follower. Good followers make better leaders. Bad followers do not make good leaders. They're the ones that we see them become charlatans and false prophets and, become dictators. But this is saying a lot about the way that he sees leadership. Is he protecting his father so much that he had to do this? Is it some sort of a defense mechanism? His father is 80. For me, this exposes his own understanding of authority, his own understanding of servant leadership, his own understanding of dialogue in trying to solve issues. This is supposed to be not a big deal. This was not the official statement from the church calling these pastors who preached after them, calling them a pastor, right? This is him with his father. So we have to not just dismiss things that is said like this and just feel like, how well they deserve it. To be honest with you guys,
nobody, not one of us, has the right to call another human being a goat. Because when you say it's a goat, a goat, their sense of reasoning is so, they kind of like just follow. They it's just so low. Now, maybe some of these guys that he's actually calling them a goat, they're not even his age. And we have to respect all the people. I'm not saying when all the people are wrong that we don't call them out or we don't speak to them. No. There's a way to do that. So if we are talking about somebody who is supposed to be mentored by his father, who was mentored by his father, and at his age, over 40, you still have this sort of mentality when it comes to leadership. You cannot even pick the phone and call them and say, look, why did that? And hear their own side of the story. Because what he said was not an official statement from the church. The church would not give an official statement calling these pastors who preached after Adeboye goats. No. They will not do that. That would not be good for their brand. They can do hush in the corners, but. So we're dealing with somebody that has a bit of character issues. And I think he needs to deal with it. He might be a leader one day by his own right. He might be a leader within the Redeemed Christian Church of God, but would you want to have a leader like that? You cannot go around calling people goat. Whether it's culturally acceptable or not, it's just not right. Biblically, it's just not right. And you see what anger can do to people, or what pride. You feel that this pastors who preached after your father when they're not supposed to preach, because your father was supposed to be the only preacher, you feel they disregarded the authority of your father. Because first he's your father before he's your daddy Gio. That's the fact. You knew him as a father before you knew him as Daddy Gio. So whatever you can put Daddy Gio, just like he did, he put Daddy Gio in his statement and all that. For me, he's his father first before he's his Daddy Gio. When he was 6 months, that was his father. He didn't know about Redeemed Christian Church of God. He didn't know about Daddy Gio. Maybe even when he was born, his father was not even a Daddy Gio yet. How long has he been a Daddy Gio? 30 years? 40? So it's saying a lot about Lekan Adeboye. It shows that Lekan Adeboye is definitely a time bomb. There are some utterances that he has made and said about certain people like Daddy Freeze, which you would not expect from a pastor, because he's also a pastor, from someone who's been under the mentorship of his father, like Adeboye. I wonder how the dad would deal with this, if he would ever. I heard that they set up a disciplinary committee to deal with him, but they didn't do anything. They just warned him not to do that again. And they left him. But he was supposed to retract that and issue an apology as the proper way to do things. Not even retract that publicly. He's supposed to call this person that he was talking about. That's the Christian way, people. Cannot just say, I'm sorry. It's like you go to God, you stole from somebody, right? You went and stole a car 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks later, you got convicted. You went to God and you still, and you apologize. You're sorry. What would God do? He would accept your apology. What would he tell you? He will tell you, go back to the person you stole the car from and apologize and give them back the car. Even if you don't have the car, he will tell you, go back to them and apologize to them. So, but they're not on my level. It doesn't matter. Well, they might just take me to the police. It doesn't matter. Just do the right thing. That's more important. So this guy, sorry, I've been saying his name is Lekan. His name is Leke, rather. So this guy, Leke Adeboye, show his photo again. So this is Daddy Gio, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, and his son, Leke Adeboye. So Leke definitely has issues. He's a father. He's a married man. And he's probably going to be one of the leaders of the church later. And like I said, they took him. He has to face a committee, a disciplinary committee, 3-man committee, and they spoke to him. I heard that he was a bit arrogant towards them and didn't want to apologize, was trying to be defensive. He stood his ground, and it seems like there's nothing they could do. So thanks Nsong. Nsong says that he actually retracted the statement online, but he didn't apologize. so it's like again, you stole something from somebody, you go to God to ask for forgiveness. God forgives you and say, go and take the stuff that you stole back to the person, and you don't want to take the stuff that you stole back to the person because you're damaging that person's reputation. Who is he going to pick on tomorrow and do the same thing? And he also needs to show that he's a true leader. A true leader apologizes when they are wrong, not just retract the statement, the post. He apologizes that's a true leader. If you want to know a true leader, forget about how well they are when they preach, how good they are at preaching, or how they can prophesy or pray. A true leader in church, that's not enough. That's one bit of it. But does he apologize, or is he the person who is always right and always right? Whatever they say is fine. Or they will allow their ego to take care of him. Evelyn says he refused to apologize. They're all slaves, so they can do absolutely nothing. It's a family business that's protected. Can't apologize, so the ego must be humongous. Yeah. These people, Uncle Soul, they think they own heaven, and the level of disrespect and pride they carry is shocking. The way they disrespect other people. Color the comments here. The family churches will always cause controversy. He's showing his masculinity in front of the pastors. Nigerian gospel is about culture. Always bow to the leader who doesn't care about the people's need. Yeah. Sad. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. God bless you. I'll catch you again. Make sure you subscribe.